I can't believe it. After months and months of waiting, I've finally been approved for Amazon merch. Hey, what's happening everyone? It's Tom the English Picker here, coming back to you with another video. In this video, really, I just want to cover a bit of an announcement. It was a few weeks back and I've really only got a chance to talk about it now, but I've finally been approved to sell on Amazon merch. And for people who don't know what that is, Amazon merch is a service that is in America only, so it's Amazon.com only. I'm hoping that it'll come over here to the UK, but you never quite know. And what that service is essentially it's a print-on-demand t-shirt service. The reason why I was so enthused about getting into it really was my art background. I come from an art and design background where I've got a degree and a master's in art and design. And with being an online entrepreneur, obviously there is a creative side to doing that. You're seeking out creative niches and that sort of thing. So the basic gist of Amazon merch is, as a sort of contributor and part of Amazon merch, you supply the Amazon.com website with a design for a t-shirt. That design gets put on a mock-up of a t-shirt and is available for purchase on Amazon.com to people in America. And then there's a range of different sizes and colours, etc. And what people can do is they can select, oh, I like that one, and what colour, etc., etc. And as soon as they click order, it gets set into process that Amazon start printing up that t-shirt on demand. So you don't actually have to have a stock of, say, 20 t-shirts of the same design and hope that they sell and you've got money invested into them. It is an on-demand service, which is brilliant, really, because you design the item, and then from that point on, it's you've got no investment in it. It's just your time, really. And to start with, you're limited to 10 designs that you can upload. But the only issue is there's millions and millions of different designs. So it's a very popular program, and they were really throttling sellers and also accepting new sellers on the platform. So you had to apply, and I applied. It was nearly a year ago now, and I finally got accepted. And the way they accept people is so random. There's been people who applied 2 weeks ago who got approved, and then people who were even longer back than me that are still waiting. So it is really varied. But yeah, I've been doing it now for a couple of weeks. I got 10 designs up there, and yeah, it's going okay. I have invested quite a lot of time into it because I was all sort of excited to do with it. Probably a bit more time than I probably should have. I got my 10 designs up there because you're limited to uploading one design every day. And then when you upload it, there's an approval process. Now, to a lot of you guys, you might already know this, but essentially it goes through an approval process of where Amazon checks that you're not violating any copyright, that it's of a good enough quality, those sorts of things, really, that it's not just like a blank shirt or just something rubbish that will clog up their website. So then it should go through the approval process. There's also like a more in-depth manual review that it can go through as well if they're uncertain. So yeah, and then once it's gone through that approval process, your design is live and available for purchase. So the reason why I was so excited about to get involved with merch is, well, as I've talked about, is the creative aspect of it, that you getting essentially paid for your ideas, which I really like that. But the other thing is the passive nature of it, that it can be ticking away in the background. I can do a couple of designs when I've got a chance, upload them, and it can be ticking away in the background. Because what happens is when you sell a shirt, you get a percentage royalty. So say you sell a shirt for $17.99. I mean, the exact figures will be off from this, but the shirt may cost Amazon to make and produce and send out $15. So you get $2 commission, which is not much, agreeably, but some of the people who are really heavily invested in merch, that $2 over 10 t-shirts a day, 7 days a week, starts to really add up. So I was really intrigued because of the passive nature of it, because that could be trickling away in the background, as well as my UK Fulfilled by Amazon business, which trickling away, selling the books off, and then I can be listing stuff on eBay as well, and that'll be trickling away, and then I can be doing stuff myself. So I'm kind of multiplying my sort of ability to make money. And it's also other, yes, it is still Amazon, but it is other revenue streams. So if book sales aren't going as well, maybe the t-shirt sales will go a bit better. So I was super pumped when I found out about it. Truth be told, a couple of weeks later, I have cooled off about it because of the kind of difficulty selling t-shirts. I have sold some t-shirts. I've now sold 10 t-shirts, which I'm super happy about. But I'm getting the same vibe that I got when I tried selling vintage items on Etsy. That the consistency wasn't there, and you'd have to really go big. But the problem is that because you're limited to 10 designs, you're just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks. So, and you can swap those designs out, but what you've got to do is delete completely another design and then put another design in, and then it goes through the approval process again. Now, you can get what's called tiered up, which the next tier is 25, I think, which means you can have 25 live designs, and then it goes up from there to hundreds and hundreds of designs, which some people like Margaret, which is Texas Gal Treasures, which you definitely need to check out. She can upload hundreds and hundreds, and it's the same sort of business model really as FBA. It's a numbers game, but to get out of these lower tiers is really tough, because I'm still waiting to be tiered up, and I know a couple of other people who've been equally waiting for a while. They've got over 10 sales, but then other people on some of the online groups, they haven't sold 10 sales and they've been tiered up. So it really is a bit of a crazy system. And I just really wanted to sort of come online and say, I'm on merch. So there may be some merch related content coming in the future, maybe. I don't know. The weird thing about t-shirt designing is it's an area which obviously is easily plagiarized. So it's a difficult one, and a lot of the other merch videos online are difficult because as soon as you say, okay, check out this design I've done, you've got 20 people who want to copy you. And a lot of people have said that's what happens with top designs. You'll have a design that's selling really well, then someone copies you, and your designs, your sales just dry up. So you've constantly got to be on top of it. Now, whether that's for me, I'm not sure, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. Now, the other part of this, which I was made aware of, which I've really got into, is Printful. Now, Printful is an American, it's a Californian-based company that are, it's a similar idea to merch. But the cool thing about Printful, and is why I'm focusing my efforts maybe a bit more on Printful now, is because there isn't really that limit of the designs that you can upload. At least I don't think there is. And also they can ship to the UK, which is a massive thing. I mean, it's pricey. It's not cheap to get them to ship to the UK. I think it's like £8 to £10 or something like that. But that does open you up to the European market as well. Now, I'm saying this, and my sales currently on Printful are pretty bad. So, I'm still early to it. Now, if you were interested in Printful, I'm going to put a link in the description for you to go and check it out. So make sure you head over there and do check it out. It is free to sign up. to Printful, which is another awesome thing. There's no upfront cost. It's a print-on-demand service. And then this wicked thing that Printful have just started doing, which really again opens it up to more people, is the integration with an Etsy store. Now, the reason why this is again another interesting development is that Etsy makes it more accessible to the general public at large. I know a lot of people, especially different female friends of mine, that use Etsy quite heavily to buy cards, unique cards, things like that, gifts. So I think that that's something going forward which could be quite good. I've just set up my Etsy eBay integration. I'm not a huge Etsy proponent per se. As I mentioned previously, I tried selling vintage items on Etsy and kind of failed really because I didn't really put the dedication into doing it. I was expecting results immediately. And I think this is probably going to be somewhat similar, that you've really got to curate a space and a thing, and I didn't put the time into doing it. Maybe it's more of a female thing and more attention to detail. I'm just kind of chuck it online and that'll do. I don't know, but it's worth a go anyway. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to set a set amount of time to it and say, look, I'm going to give it a go. I've got about 25 t-shirt designs up on Printful, and they are integrated with my Etsy store. And the interesting thing as well is that they're the same process you would go through for doing a merch design would be exactly the same for doing a Printful design. So it means that you can upload your designs to Printful, they're there, and then they get basically integrated and copied over to Etsy. And then if you wanted to use those on your merch account, you can just copy all the keywords, all that over, and then put it in your merch account. So it's almost like you've got this data bank of stuff which is also available for purchase that you can cherry pick into for merch, and as that slowly potentially builds up. So that's why I do quite favour that. So yeah, and the way that the integration works really is you set up an Etsy shop. So if you've already got one, that's cool. If not, it's fairly easy to open up one. And yeah, set up your Etsy store, do the integration with Printful. The only thing you've got to be careful noting is that when you integrate it over, you have to make it quite clear. There's a few buttons that you click that your order is being fulfilled by Printful. That's so you don't get any customers that are sort of, where's my t-shirt? So they've ordered it in the UK and they're expecting it in 3 days or whatever, that they realise that it is coming from another place. Because what happens is on Etsy, you get an order from a t-shirt, that order immediately gets sent automatically to Printful, and then Printful fulfill the order from there and post it out to your customer. So you're completely hands off and you don't actually have to do anything. So it's kind of like a fulfilled by Amazon FBA system, but with Etsy. So really interesting. I mean, it's a lot of faith to put in the system, really. For me, at first, I was like, really? So you're trusting? But then I'm doing that with the thousands of items I've got with FBA. So there you go. And you're not leveraged by storage fees, no upfront costs. God, I'm sounding like a telemarketer here. But I'm just genuinely excited about it. And I just wanted to put out this video really to say, if you were maybe a part-time job or that sort of thing, it's maybe worth you thinking about if you haven't got any money to invest in stock. Or the other big proponent is you haven't got the space, and it's one thing that I'm really working on now is ways to make money which you need less space for, because I'm at bursting point with my storage units and things like that. I'm that close to being a hoarder. Some might say kind of past that point, but so yeah, that's just my take on the whole merch, Etsy, Printful integration. As I said, there's plenty of other people out there. There's some really good groups that you can join on Facebook, Merch Minds. There's a UK-based merch one, which I'll put a link in the description. So yeah, and if you can subscribe as well, that helps my channel. Hopefully maybe some more merch videos coming soon, so don't forget to subscribe. Some questions as well. I mean, if you had any questions, I'll attempt to answer them. I'm going to put some links and stuff in the description box, so if you're interested in that, like the Printful integration and other things, check there before you ask a question. But feel free to ask me a question. I'll attempt to answer it. If not, I'll be able to point you to the person who'll be able to help. So yeah, that's, in a nutshell, that's what's happened. So exciting news, potential, extra revenue streams, or I could just muck about with it for, a couple of days, think, oh, stuff this, and then go back to selling books. Who knows? But whatever happens, I'll keep you all updated on my progress and how it's going. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea. So cheers for sticking around. Don't forget to ask me some questions. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.